Today I'm going to create a teeny tiny diorama display scene type thing for a Disney princess, and I'm going to use these to display each of my Disney princesses, and we're going to create it from scratch. So we're going to start with Ariel. She's going to be the first princess we're going to create a display for, and this is going to be my base plate, and we need some curvy bits to go out the front. So it's just going to be a small scene, and it's just going to have a few things in it that depict what Ariel's life is all about. And we're going to need a little jumper for her to be on at the front here. So that's the general shape and the idea, but of course that's pretty boring. So we need to build it out at the back. So we're going to have lots of water and sand, and of course we need to connect these two pieces together as well. So I'm going to use that other jumper for something else. I have a plan. But first up, let's build some walls around, some water walls. So we might put some sand down here on our watery bed. And I'm just using what I can find. So there's going to be a mixture of shapes and textures and probably different colors. We'll just see what we can do. So a nice big see-through blue watery wall for the side. And then along the back, I'm going to just put a bit of purple in just to mix it up. And this nice big blue one came out of the one of the Lego Elves, the Spa set. So that's where this is from, with the cool little sticker down the front there. Now we're going to put some more water up this side. We'll just build it up. Here's one with a fish sticker on it, which I thought was pretty cute. That one's come off one of the fish tank, a fish tank out of one of the Lego Friends sets. And of course we're going to need to click these all in together somehow. So we'll do that and just make it look a bit pretty on the top. With maybe, or drop that bit, a little water drop, with maybe a bit of a waterfall effect kind of look. So we'll have the water flowing down there, and a bit of a pink corally bit and purple corally bit on there too. And we're going to make our fountain go down here, so it's kind of like a waterfall. There. That looks pretty nice for the back. I like that. So to continue our box, we're going to actually put something on the back here which is going to hinge the next scene for the next Lego princess onto this one when we build it. I'm only building one today, but we're going to have a bit of forethought here and put our little hinge on here. And I'll show you how that will work at the end of the video when we finish doing this little scene. So we'll build up some more water and a little bit of sand. And maybe a bit more cascading water down this side. Hold on, I need something down there so that can connect. It's going to cascade down onto this bit of water there. Oh, that bit of sand there. More water. It's a little watery scene for Ariel, which is perfect because that's where we know best, is in the water. And I might turn that to the side. There. That looks good. So that's our watery frame. We might make a bit more sand down here and just extend the water just with some smooth pieces all the way down the front, and that also helps snap our little rounded pieces, our half circles on the front, on. Now, I'll just tidy up the top of this wall and then we'll start being creative about what we're going to put on the inside. Now, not too much because there's not a lot of room. So there's a little rock. I might move it forward. Oh, I don't know quite where I'm going to want that. I might move that later. And I'm just going to build up a bit of sand, rock, and some coral. This one's going to be, if I can get it on there, a little flower, a little corally flower. So that's the idea. It looks quite sparse at the moment. Let's move Ariel out because we're not finished yet. So a nice big sandy build up in the back here is what we're aiming for at the moment. And a bit of seaweed or green for algae. There we are. And a clamshell. And over here we're going to put some very nice coral, sparkly coral. A bit more algae down the front, and I think that's pretty much, yeah, I just don't quite know where I want that rock. Now, this trunk, of course, is where she keeps all of her treasures, but I'm just going to put a dingle hopper in it because that's all she really needs. It's only a small scene. We'll just put it in, and I didn't want it to go straight on that jumper. I actually want it to go on a bit of an angle. So I'm just going to move all of my built up area in here, all of my sand, rocky, algae, corally bit, I'm just going to move it back one space so it's right near the back. And we'll see if that works. There's always a bit of trial and error when you're putting together a new build like this. So let's have a look. There we go. So I didn't like it flat on, I just like it to go in like that. So you can see how that works. That looks really good. I really am happy with that. We're going to need just a bit more decoration though. So just little things. We don't need to build anything more up. A bit of coral on the top here of the trunk, maybe there. Don't know quite where I want it. I'll decide at the end when I look at it all together. And a big pink sea anemone on the front and a starfish down here. And over here on the rock, we're going to put flounder. It's important that Ariel gets her good friend in here. Keep her company. Otherwise it'd be a bit lonely in her own little teeny tiny diorama. And up here on the top, maybe just a bit more colourful, seaweedy, corally type stuff. Just to set it off, a bit of colour on the top, and that, I think we're ready. All right, Ariel, you are ready to take pride of place here in the front of our teeny tiny diorama. And that looks really good. Let's check it from all the angles. It looks nice from this angle. It looks good from front on, and from this side, the see-through wall is actually really nice because it means that we can see through from that side too. So, now that we've built one, look at that. It's a wonderful little display for Ariel, but she's going to be lonely if we don't put the other princesses in. So this is where we're going to hinge our next part. I've just realised I've done something wrong. I'm not going to be able to get this hinge in here because it's I needed to put it in the first place. So I'll just pull this out and put it on. There we go. Easily fixed. So this hinge is where we're going to put the next little display for the next princess. And I don't know what colour I'm going to have, but we're going to use an 8x6 piece and a half circle on the front, just like we achieved on Ariel's display. We'll just set it up as green at the moment, but it all depends upon which princess we decide to use. But this is how it will go. So it will sit right next to Ariel's display, and we can either swing it out or we can sit them right there together. You can also use one of these little hole pieces and use it like that. So you can actually snap them together, but they won't swing in and out like that. They'll just stay nice and tight, which will work perfectly well. So we've got a couple of options on how we can connect them together. But now I have to decide which princess are we going to use next? Are we going to build the next little tiny diorama? Today we're going to build the next one of our little Disney princess tiny dioramas. We did Ariel last time, and we've got our hinge ready for our next tiny scene, and you all voted for, well, the majority of you voted for Belle, so majority rules. So we're going to build a scene for Belle today. So I thought that we might actually make a little kind of library for her. So we're going to need some wood scenery kind of things. So we're going to have these nice sand coloured bases here. So we've got that, and we're going to put our little single jumper stud there because that's where Belle's going to stand, and we're going to put another one behind it just there to hold them together. So Belle's going to stand there when we're all finished. But we've barely even started yet. So we'll take her off and we'll start building. First up, we need a bookcase. Now there's not enough room on here for an entire library, so we're just going to depict a library with a bookcase, but it's going to look pretty fancy. So we've got the base on now. I'm going to put a little bit of gold in because it's in the castle, this bookcase. It's a very royal bookcase, and I'm going to just see whether this is big enough for these. No, it is not. So I'm going to need to take it up maybe just by a single stud. There, now let's see if that fits. It does fit, but it's not very tidy down the bottom. So I'm going to put a smooth lavender piece on, just so we're not having to put the books over all those little bumpy studs. So there we are. There's the first shelf of the bookcase. We're going to put a whole heap of those styles of books in the first shelf, but on the second shelf, I'm going to put some little droopy gold pieces. They look really fancy. And on the other side, I'm just going to have one of these ones with a little stud facing outwards because I've got a plan to use it to hang something off the side of the bookcase. So another nice purple smooth piece, and we've got a couple of arches, and now we can fit in the bigger books. So let's see, we've got our gold one there, which is a secret diary. And now we need something to go on the back so that the books don't all tip out of the back of our bookcase. So that's good. We've got a wall piece on the back. And now we might just round off the top a bit. We'll try and tie it in by using the lavender pieces. There, the bookcase looks really nice. So we'll fill it with books. I've got some Lego Elves ones here. I hope she likes reading about dragons because the Lego Elves have got those really fancy new books. I really like them. We'll take the diary one out. Going to put another one in here, another couple in here. And there's actually room for one more, but I don't want to, hold on, that one's turned around the wrong way. I don't want to cram it too tight full because I do have plans. I have plans. And at the top, we're going to put in, let's see, this music one, in case Belle wants to read about music, a black book of spooky tales, and a book about birds. And we're going to put this diary one in here, just kind of on a slant, so it looks pretty cool. All right. This stud off the side is going to hold a rose vine because roses are very important to Belle's story. So we'll put some flowers, some roses, different coloured roses, down here off the edge of the bookcase. That's lovely, and we'll plug them in with a little carrot stalk. Perfect. Now, we've got books. She would like something comfortable to sit on while she's in the library, and I just had a thought. She can't actually sit because she's in the ball gown, but that's okay. This chair's just going to be for show. We'll make it very comfy looking. Okay, so we've got one arm on there of our very, very comfy reading chair for the library, and now we need the back. We're going to use this piece with some more of our rounded over ones to look like a nice cushion. There, that looks really very comfortable, and it goes on our single jumper stud, but we might have to do a bit of a modification on the floor. But before we do that, we of course need that all-important rose. Yeah, that's the bit that's driving me insane. We'll fix that. The rose in the vase or in the jar. Now, underneath the chair, I'm going to put some more smooth pieces so that it's not kind of wonky and falling off to the side. So a couple here, let's see how that goes. That's better, but we could do with another one on the other side. So let me find another one. There. Now that looks really good. And we're going to put this book in here because she's just left that there from when she was reading before. There will be books all over the library. What do you think, Belle? I think this little scenario, this little diorama might be complete. No, back where it was. There. I'm really, really happy with that, but Belle's wandered off. I hope she's happy. Are you coming back? Oh yes, she is coming back. She was just getting her book of fairy tales that she's been reading. So she can stand here at the front and she can read a book. And she can't sit in the comfy chair that we built for her. So we're almost done. We've just got to actually install it next to Ariel's diorama, and we might decorate that just with a couple of flowers. There, that's lovely. There we are. Look, Ariel, you have a new neighbour in your tiny diorama. You've got Belle here now residing next to you, and we need to put a hinge on the other side under our rose vine. So I've got another one in white, so we'll put that over here. And maybe another little flower. So who's going to come and live next to Belle in her tiny diorama, in the little display that I'm making for all the Disney princesses? Those two actually look really quite nice right next to each other. It's time for the next Lego Disney Princess tiny diorama. We've already done Ariel and we've done Belle, and we've got our little hinge here waiting for our next princess. And you voted overwhelmingly for Rapunzel. So it is time for Rapunzel to get her own tiny diorama. And she is of course going to be set on some green, on some grass. So we've got our 8x6 rectangle piece and we've got our semicircle to go out the front. So this is going to be our base and we're going to hold them together with these blue transparent pieces. Can you guess what I'm going to make along the front here? Have you guessed? Let's see. You've already guessed, haven't you? It's going to be a little stream because when Rapunzel first comes out of the tower, she ends up in the stream with all the lily pads and that's what we're going to have. I don't actually want a tower for Rapunzel because she was stuck in it for so many years. What we're actually going to do is the grass and the flowers and look at that beautiful stream. So sparkly. And all of these lovely things that she feels for the first time when she comes out of the tower. So in the middle of our stream, I'm going to put a lily pad and a pink flower on our lily pad, and this is going to give her somewhere to stand right in the middle of the stream. Look at that. So that's going to be her display point. Maybe I might put her a little further back. We'll see. Now next we need some flowers. Lots of flowers out here in the meadow. Another pink one over here. We might build this up a bit, put a blue on the top, and we'll put one over here with some pretty on the top. And one further back. There. Beautiful flowery meadow for Rapunzel. But we're also going to make kind of a tree branch arch over here. So we'll start with our hinge, and we're going to need another hinge on the other side for the next tiny diorama. So let's see, I've got a black one here, which will tie in quite nicely with the tree trunk. So we got some nice tree trunky sort of colours here. Let's put another flower on the front of this one, just to match in with all the rest of our flowers. And let's start building our tree. This is such a tiny platform. We don't really want, well, we don't want a lot of tree, but we want to be able to depict the branches and the flowers and really just make it look like an archway, like a frame for Rapunzel to be standing under. So here's one of our overarching branches. This one's going to connect up on the other side, if I can be clever enough to make that happen. Let's make it secure first. I don't know which way I want, no, I want that to face the other way. There, that's starting to look pretty good. Now we'll build it up on the other side, and they're not going to meet at the top. It's going to be a little bit askew, and it'll look good, I promise. So I need a couple of singles here to make sure these meet up there. There, look at that. So it doesn't look like an arch as such. It kind of looks twisty and turny. So now we need a whole heap of branches to fill this out. And I thought, hanging from underneath the branches, we're going to put all these little jewels, and they are going to be the lanterns. Does that work? Does that look enough like the lanterns? Let's see if I can actually get this on here. It's a bit hard to do it once I've already built over the top. So we're going to have the lanterns hanging from underneath the tree, once again depicting the lanterns, which are also really important in her story. So now we just need lots of branches, lots of foliage, lots of flowers, and lots of beautiful sparkly lanterns. And I need to get these to hold on properly so they don't all just flip off. Actually, I think that one needs to go up a bit higher. Yep, let's take that branch off and let's just put that up here. Yeah, that's going to look better in the long run, I think. We'll take a look at the end and see. And another one, we've got different colours of foliage, which just makes it look really pretty. And definitely lots of flowers. So this one down here, and we can angle them in or out. We'll decide on the angles when we've got all of our branches on. So another little one up here before we do our big ones. And there. Now I think maybe a couple of big ones in the middle, and I'll stack them on top of each other and see how that looks. So some more lanterns hanging from the bottom of this one, and a piece of pink foliage. I just love these gems. The light just comes through them. I think they're going to make the most perfect lanterns. We'll put these up here, and I will snap them on with these curved pieces so that they don't fall off. There, it's like a bower of flowers and sparkly lanterns for Rapunzel to stand under. I think it looks just right. I think it's absolutely perfect. So if she comes and stands just here, she can be standing in this bower, or she could stand in the middle of the river, or a little stream. I don't know, I can't decide. I think, I don't know. We'll leave her there for now. Let's go and attach her next to Belle and see if they're going to get on. Hopefully they won't fight. No arguing. So we'll put this on here, and that actually goes really well because Belle's got that little bit of climbing rose going up the side of her bookcase, and that ties in really well with Rapunzel and all of her flowers. Yeah, hi! There, see? They are going to get along very nicely. And Ariel's over here on the end. That's turned out really well. I'm really happy with how that went. Okay, so now we've got 3 princesses. We can angle them out if we want to, or we can put them right close together. It's up to us because they're on hinges. Now, what's up to you is which princess we're going to build the next tiny diorama for. Is it going to be Moana, or Aurora, the Sleeping Beauty, or we might add Elsa into the mix this time? Are we going to do a Frozen diorama? Now, you voted for, Maui? You did not vote for Maui. Maui, you are too big to stand on these little dioramas, so I'm sorry, it's not you. Oh, he looks so sad. Oh, and here's Hey Hey, just randomly pecking at the ground. Let's put Hey Hey over here with Belle, because we need to build our tiny diorama for Moana. Hold on, that rhymes, diorama for Moana. And we're going to tuck her here in between Belle and Ariel, because I have a plan to put some big trees and lots of greenery at the back, and I think it will look really good there. So we're going to have the beach meets the water, so the sand meets the water. So we've got our sand piece here, and we've got a water curved out piece in the middle, and the sand is going to reach out into the water a bit, and I'm going to use some of these little quarter pie pieces, which are so cool, to make a bit of a sand walkway out onto the water. And a couple more over here. There we go. And then I thought that I would put like a little bit of water, it's already water, but a bit of a splash, or a bit of a spot where the water is being pulled away, so that we can reveal the heart of Te Fiti. So I'm going to try and build up a bit of a wavy kind of thing here in the front, and we'll see how that looks. So it's all pointing to this hollow in the middle where our sand walkway comes out to, with a space for the heart of Te Fiti to be down here, to be delivered to her feet by the waves. Look, see? There, that's excellent. That looks very cool. All right, so we've got, oh gosh, hey, stop it. Ah, now he's jumping on Moana's head. Oh my goodness. All right, let's put Hey over here with Ariel. Hopefully she can keep him under control. And we're going to connect our little tiny diorama here next to Ariel's diorama, and we will make sure that everything fits in together so that they can tuck together. So at the back we need a whole heap of rock for mountain, and a whole heap of greenery, and a whole heap of beautiful flowers. So it's Moana's island home. So rock building up here, and maybe a bit more green down here. Lots and lots and lots of flowers and plants. And we'll build the green up here, and more plants. And then on the top of our little rocky outcrop here, we're going to put this big leaf. I don't know that it fits right there. No, I have to move it in a bit. There, it fits really snugly there. Perfect. And I'm going to layer a few of these so it really looks quite dense and jungly. And we'll put this cool little wiggly branch up the top, and put another big leaf up here. Now this is why I needed to attach it to Ariel's thing, to make sure that they do kind of still fit when I close them together. Yeah, they're going to. All right, so on the other side is going to be Belle's little tiny diorama. I keep saying little tiny diorama, that's kind of a bit like saying the same thing twice. But anyway, okay, over here on this side, I'm going to do a nice big tall tree. So of course it needs to be a tropically type one. So we'll put some more of these big, and hold on, I need that there, need that cylinder there, and another one there. Fill out the top of this tree with lovely leafy foliage and a bit of colour. And Perfect. There, that looks lush and green and tropical and perfect for Moana. Awesome. All right, now I've got this little empty bit on the side. So I thought maybe just a tiny little rocky outcrop, and we're going to have the water just drizzling down it. So a tiny, tiny waterfall that comes down to meet the ocean. So let's see if I've got enough of these little blue curvy bits. See if I can get them to all meet up where they're supposed to. That looks cute. And another one here. And another one on the front. So that they meet up. So our beautiful little waterfall, our little trickling waterfall has trickled down to meet the ocean, and I would like a bit more greenery here. So I'm just going to take the big tree out of the way while I get my hand in here to put a double layered plant. Oh, so lush, so green, so tropical. It's perfect. Moana, it's done. Oh, hold on. Hey, Hay's here, and he's just checking to make sure everything can be pecked, which it can. It's all structurally sound. And Moana can come and stand here and find the Heart of Te Fiti whenever she wants. And look at that. It does close beautifully. Hi, look, Ariel, you've got a new neighbour. Moana has come to stay. Stop it. Hey, stop it. Poor flounder. Okay, Moana has come to live right next to you, and we're going to put Belle on the other side. Make sure our tree doesn't touch too much over on her bookcase. It doesn't at all. Hi, Belle. Look at that. And there's Rapunzel on the end. They look fabulous all together. Check it out. There. So we've got our latest tiny diorama for the Lego Disney Princesses. Moana is now beautifully displayed in her own little diorama. But who are we going to do next? Is it going to be Elsa? Or is it going to be Aurora? Or maybe, just maybe, are you on Team Anna? So you're going to have to vote. So make sure you comment and let me know. It's time for the next tiny diorama build. And who did you vote for? Well, you voted overwhelmingly for Elsa. Of course you did. I can't believe it took us this long to actually get to Elsa. We're going to put her over here next to Rapunzel, and she's beautifully decked out in her cape and her little icy crown. And we're going to, of course, put her in white for the snow. And these are the only pieces I could find that'll make the same shape as all the rest. So that's what we're working with. I've got my little hinge here for one side, and the other side, just knocked poor Rapunzel over. The other side is going to, of course, click onto Rapunzel's tiny diorama. There we go. And Rapunzel's going to keep an eye out and see how we're going. So we're going to build her a little landscape of ice and snow, of course, but we're going to make it a bit more decorative than just ice and snow. Got a nice big glittery blue icy mountain here, and this is going to form the backdrop for something else that's going to be part of her display. So we'll build this up first, and let's see if you can guess what I'm actually doing here. So we're making, it's kind of going to be like a palace facade. I don't know if you guessed. That one was really grubby. I've just cleaned that one off. I don't know if you actually guessed before I started telling you, but it's going to be like a palace, like a little tower, an ice made out of tower, a miniature one, of course. So we're going to take it to a peak at the top. And of course, we're going to need an ice snowflake. I keep saying that. Well, isn't a snowflake's made out of ice anyway? But anyway, and we're going to put a gem in the middle of it just because we can. Look at that. Okay, so a palace facade, which just means like a simple wall, a single wall, but you can see what it's meant to be. And down here, we're going to build a throne for her. So an ice throne. So of course, we're going to need more white and more blue. So let's build it directly on here. We're going to use a white square. And here we go. We'll build up the back so she's got somewhere to lean on. And I love these little pokey gems, these little pointy gems, except they really hurt your fingers when you're trying to put them on. They're so pointy on the top. And the seat is going to have one of these beautiful minty coloured ones, because I really like that colour, and it just ties in nicely. It's really hard for her to sit down when she's got her cape on, but we're doing okay for now. Good. We need some armrests, of course, so that it looks really regal and majestic, and it's more comfortable to sit in. There's scroll work armrests, because that's what I found. Some more of these little angled pieces, and of course some more blue icy gems. Fantastic! And down here for the footrest, a nice big piece of ice, blue ice. And we might make this back, we might make the back of it just a tiny bit higher because it's not standing quite as proudly as I want it to. So another little piece up. There we are. Now that looks nicely balanced. Okay, not quite yet because we're going to make a royal pathway, a carpet, a royal carpet up of ice up to the throne. Now you can try it out, except you're not going to be able to sit on that very effectively with your cape on. So let's take that off, and now you can try it on. Here we go. Try your throne out for size. And it's wonderful, it's magnificent, it's regal, it's royal. It is just perfect. Now, where is Elsa going to stand? Well, she's actually going to stand over here. Probably a good thing because she's just fallen off her really slippery ice throne. We'll put her cape back on again. And she's going to stand over here to the side, which is different to what we've done with the other tiny dioramas. She seems to be hanging off the side. I know. But there's a reason for this, and you might be able to guess the reason. So who's going to go next to Elsa? Well, you don't even get to vote for this one because she's got to hang out with Anna. It's just how they work. They're sisters. So right next to Elsa, we're going to put Anna's little tiny diorama as well. Why do I say little tiny? They both mean the same thing. And her piece here where she's going to be standing. I'm just going to demonstrate what it's going to be like. And she's going to be there, and they're going to be back to back. It's just an idea so you can see how it's going to work when I do Anna's diorama. See, back to back, like you see them in all of the pictures. Look. So next up, Anna's going to have her own little castle facade and her own throne room in her own style. So similar but different, and they're going to be standing right next to each other like sisters. But in the meantime, Elsa can play around in her new ice palace and her ice throne, make more ice sculptures while we wait for Anna's castle to appear. It's time for the next tiny diorama, and the last one was for Elsa. Now, even though she's a queen, she qualifies for the Disney princess dioramas, I think, and we did promise we weren't going to separate the sisters. So the next one is going to be Anna. So Rapunzel, if you could pop back over in your beautiful little spring habitat here. Anna's just going to give Elsa a big sisterly hug, and then we're going to start her tiny diorama. And we're going to match it kind of to Elsa's. It's going to be a palace with a throne, but it's going to be in slightly different colours. So we've got the throne room. Well, we've got kind of the floor happening on the inside, and we've got snow on the outside, and we've got the little spot where she's going to stand, and we're hooking it up to Elsa's tiny diorama. See, because I want them to stand here, if I can just get them to be where I want them to be. I want them to stand here back to back, just like you see them in all of their pictures. They're always together back to back like this. So that's how they're going to be for their tiny diorama as well. So let's go. A palace for Anna. Different to Elsa's, but the same. We actually need to reconnect Elsa's here because we're going to be using that hook there, the hinge, to build upon. So, going to be using these minty pieces because that's what we saw in Anna's, in her beautiful Arendelle castle. And I love this archway with the decorations on it. It's just gorgeous. It's going to make a very nice frame for the throne, for our throne room. And this piece came off one of the extra little Anna sets, one of the little ones. So we can put it here on our tiny diorama. And let's continue up here on our castle facade. And we're going to match it kind of to Elsa's. It's going to be a similar style, but of course it has to be unique for Anna because, well, it's not an Elsa castle, it's an Anna castle. So we're going to use the purple and mint pieces as our accent colours, and the tan pieces as the castle-y pieces, and the white simply for snow, so that they do match in nicely. So some roundy over pieces there, and some more down here with a bit more colour. And that's looking magnificent. And for her centerpiece, we're going to have some of this white foliage with a bit of springtime added and just a tiny little nod to Elsa's ice here. So a bit of a blue icicle or a blue crystal right in the center. So that's ready. Now we need to build her a throne. So what do you think so far, Anna? Let's see. Okay, you can come and look, but No, you don't need to peek through there. How about you come around the front and you can watch, and we'll build you a very comfortable throne, because you want it to be comfortable if you're going to be sitting on it all day long. It's going to be magnificent as well. Okay, something to sit on. There's the back of it. And this one's looking very regal and very formal. And we need, of course, some arms for it to make it magnificent. Lovely. That looks quite comfortable. And a little bit of embellishment, because this is royal, so it needs to look quite fancy and, well, quite fabulous. And pink is going to be our colour here. We're going to have the royal carpet that leads into the throne, so we're going to match that up with Elsa's. So we're going to use these pink pieces. There we go, a pathway onto the throne. And look, they match but they don't. Well, they don't match at all, but they're just the same sort of thing. 2 little palace facades and 2 little thrones for 2 sisters. There we are, there's Anna's. Oh, and hers is just as slippery as Elsa's. That's okay. I will sticky tack her on there and she will not fall off. Elsa, if you want to sit on yours, you need to take your cape off. There we go. Look, there they are. They're ready to hold court in their brand new throne rooms. Each the same but different. Oh, I'm really, really pleased with how these turned out. Now, will I be able to get them to stand back to back like I planned? Or are they just going to keep knocking each other and over and keep bumping into each other? Oh no, look, they're going to fit there perfectly. Oh, so good. Oh, I'm just thrilled. They've turned out better than I even imagined. Oh, they look so happy there. So we'll join them on to our other tiny dioramas. We've got quite a lineup now with Rapunzel and Belle and Moana and Ariel, but we do have quite a few more Disney princesses to choose from to add on as our next tiny diorama. So why don't you tell me in the comments which princess you'd like next? Will it be Cinderella or Aurora or Jasmine or maybe Merida? Oh, all right. Make sure you tell me in the comments. Otherwise, I'm not going to have any idea. So I'm led by you. It's up to you. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Do click like if you enjoy me building the tiny dioramas. That makes sure that I will want to build some more because I know you're enjoying them. Check out some of my other silly videos, and I'll be back with a new one very, very soon.